as always, first we all need to develop the right motivation and also with the right attitude. We should study the Garland of Jewels by the Dogen Chekyal Papa to Prince Civic de Moore. So now, in the seventh session, it starts from the teaching on loving kindness. What is the loving kindness, or what is the nature of the loving kindness? So here, loving kindness means wishing the sentient beings to gain temporary and ultimate happiness, or contaminated and uncontaminated happiness, or temporary and ultimate happiness, including its cause. So wishing all the sentient beings to gain or to have the temporary and ultimate happiness and their cause, and remain in their cause. That is the nature of the loving kindness. And also here sentient being means, as always, it means all the sentient beings without any exception. So how to practice? First, we should practice from one's own family members and friends and relatives. So it is important to pay respect to each other within the family members and friends and relatives. If we cannot extend our loving kindness to our own family members and friends and relatives, then how can we extend the loving kindness towards all the sentient beings without any exception? It is not possible. So first we should start from our own family members. If there's a fight within the family member, or if someone is beating their own family members and scolding their own family members and arguing with their own family members, then that person does not have the real practice of loving kindness. That person does not have the real respect of the human value. That person does not have warm-heartedness or positive mind. They might have some kind of positive mind, but not 100% positive mind. So, starting from family members, then we should extend towards all the sentient beings without any exception. So there's no discrimination by any means, whether it's by gender or by caste or by religion or by country or any other differences. There's no discrimination at all, because one should love, or one should practice the loving kindness towards all the sentient beings equally, without any discrimination or without any exception. So that is the practice of loving kindness. So if one really practices this kind of loving kindness, then it means our practice of Buddha Dharma is not only for oneself, not only for one's own fellow Buddhists or etc. It includes, or we are doing the practice of Buddha Dharma for the sake of all the sentient beings, irrespective whether they are following Buddhism or other religion, or whether they are non-believer, or whether they are human or animal or hell realm being or hungry ghost being or whatever they are. One should extend our loving kindness to all the sentient beings without any exception. So this is a mind practice This is a mental practice. So the more we familiarize with this practice, there are more realization or more qualities can grow from this practice. So if we really have such genuine loving kindness practice, then it means we will then we become a good person. Then it means we have already controlled our hatred, our biased thought, or our pride or other gross mental affliction. If we really practice the loving kindness sincerely, then we are friends with everybody. We don't have any enemy. At the moment, as an ordinary human being, one does have friends and enemy, or one loves some of the person and one hates some person, etc. So this means that one has two sides, one's own side and other side, and one loves one's own side and one hates the other side. So all these kind of thoughts creates more and more negative thoughts and creates more and more negative actions that cause more and more suffering in the future for oneself. So all these kind of negative factors can be controlled once we have the real practice of loving kindness. And now the next one is compassion. The object of compassion is same as loving kindness. It's for the sake of all the sentient beings. So wishing all the sentient beings to be free from the sufferings of the sentient beings in general, and also including the sufferings of the Sharvakas and Patikas, followers, and even those who gain who have gained their own results. Still, they are not completely free from all the obscuration. They are not, or they have not gained the perfect relinquishment. So they still have something to abandon. So wishing all the sentient beings, including Sharvakas and Patikas, to be free from all the sufferings or all the obscurations. So in other words, wishing all the sentient beings to be free from the samsaric and nirvanic suffering, and also their causes. Their cause means negative karma and mental affliction, etc. So this is the nature of the great compassion. Practicing great compassion towards all the sentient beings, and same as loving kindness, that we should start from our own family members. Then we should extend towards all the sentient beings. So loving kindness and compassion, to have a good practice on these, first it is important to know the meaning, especially the object of these thoughts. And after knowing it, then we should try to remember, try to familiarize with it, and try to remember it again and again every day, so that we can get used to it, or we can embody it. Otherwise, just understanding the meaning is not enough for us to do a good practice on loving kindness and compassion. So mere knowledge, mere understanding on these thoughts is not enough. After having the understanding, then one should practice. One should apply these knowledge into our daily life, and we should put it into our own actions. Through this, then we can do a good practice. So now, Chögyam Papa asking the prince to practice these loving kindness and compassion. So through this way, the prince should practice loving kindness and compassion. So Shakir Papa is requesting the prince to practice these. And if one practices these, then one will outshine all the other merits, or one can outshine the other merits. So directly, Shakya Papa is requesting the Prince Chibik Demo to practice the genuine loving kindness and compassion. Indirectly, we can think that Shakya Papa is requesting all of us that are studying this text now. So Shakya Papa is requesting to all of us to do a genuine and sincere practice of loving kindness and compassion. So we should put ourselves as the person that is receiving teaching from Shakya Papa, so that it makes more closer, and it makes stronger connection with this teaching and ourselves. If we think, oh, this teaching is given to the prince, not for me, then we ourselves is distancing from the teaching. So instead of this, we should think these teachings are also given to us. So these are meant to us. These are advice to us. So through this way, it makes the closeness between the teaching and ourselves. So this is very important to think. Now, next one is to talk about the bodhicitta. Bodhicitta has two, relative and ultimate bodhicitta. And first, and also their precepts or the rules. First, relative bodhicitta also has three: wishing, engaging, and their differences. So first is the wishing. So it means even though we have the loving kindness and compassion, but if we does not engage in the skillful methods, then we become like Sharavaka and Patika Buddhas or followers. And even though we engage in the method, if we don't have the power, then we cannot benefit or help all the sentient beings, or we cannot help them. So therefore, we need the loving kindness and great compassion, and also the method, and also the power. So who has all these qualities? Then only the Buddha has such qualities. So for that purpose, we should develop the sincere wish to become a Buddha. Because so only Buddha has such power, only Buddha has all these ultimate qualities. So therefore, this Buddha is also a sentient being in in the beginning, first Buddha was also a sentient being, and then he became Buddha. So therefore, oneself also wish to attain the Buddhahood for the sake of all the sentient being. which has the ultimate knowledge and ultimate compassion and ultimate power. So wish to have such enlightenment state is called the wishing mind or wishing bodhicitta. So those who have such wish, then they will remain or they will keep the bodhisattva vows or bodhicitta vows, and they will those who have such wish, then they will approach the bodhisattva, the bodhisattva of the Mahayana teacher, who keep their vows, bodhisattva vows, and who know all the rituals, and one who knows the Mahayana teachings, and one who knows the ritual to give the bodhicitta vow, like the one who knows all the preparation part and the main part and the conclusion part. So with complete ritual or with complete ceremony, one promise, in the complete ceremony, one promise to attain Buddhahood. Such mind is called the wishing bodhicitta. So wishing bodhicitta should come from the bodhicitta vow ceremony. So without receiving the bodhicitta vow, one cannot have the wishing bodhicitta. So if one has the wish to attain Buddhahood before receiving the bodhicitta vow, then that wish is a mere wish. That is not a wishing bodhicitta. So there's a difference between mere wish and wishing bodhicitta. Mere wish means having such wish to attain Buddhahood for the sake of all the sentient beings before having the real bodhicitta vow. And wishing bodhicitta means having such wish at the time of receiving the bodhicitta vow or after having the bodhicitta vow. And it mainly means wishing bodhicitta means having such wish after receiving the bodhicitta vow. Now next is engaging bodhicitta or engaging mind. So in order to accomplish Buddhahood, one need to practice the methods like the 6 perfections. So first one should have the intention and one should have the effort to practice these perfections or these methods. So this is the engaging mind, engaging in the path to attain the Buddhahood. So with such intention, bodhisattvas, they receive the engaging bodhicitta vow, or they promise to engage in the practice such as 6 perfections. So anyway, engaging bodhicitta vow and then engaging in the practice of 6 perfections, then this is called the engaging bodhicitta. So those who wish to engage in the course of attaining the Buddhahood, such as practicing generosity, etc., before receiving the engaging bodhicitta vow, then that is a mere engaging mind, or that is just an engaging mind. But then after receiving the engaging bodhicitta vow from a qualified bodhisattva or master with a complete ritual, then one has the engaging bodhicitta. So this one also has two, engaging mind and engaging bodhicitta. Now next one is the difference between these two. So engaging the wishing and engaging bodhicitta are the method that develops the bodhicitta. And in order to improve this mind, then with a great joy in the result of the practice, or with a great joy in the enlightenment state, then with such one can thoroughly practice the wishing bodhicitta, or one can have the ultimate bodhicitta, ultimate wishing bodhicitta, or in other words, one can have the complete wishing bodhicitta, or one can totally practice this. And for that purpose, one engage in the course of attaining Buddhahood. So through this, then engaging bodhicitta is perfected, or one can have the total practice of engaging bodhicitta. So just having the wishing and engaging bodhicitta is not enough. After having this bodhicitta, then we need to improve it, we need to increase it, we need to make a progress on the path, and then finally we can attain the Buddhahood. So by having great joy in the result, enlightenment state, and also by putting effort in the practice, then one can make the final progress, or one can have the perfect bodhicitta of these two. So promising to attain Buddhahood, and for that purpose practicing or putting effort in the practice of sixth perfection is the practice of bodhisattva. And then later this practice is also this practice will also help to make the bodhicittas as a perfect bodhicitta, or later we can have the perfection of the bodhicitta. So anyway, there's a mere wishing, or the wishing mind and wishing bodhicitta, then engaging mind and engaging bodhicitta, and then there's the practice that can make the perfection of these bodhicitta. So these are the classifications. So this is the relative bodhicitta. And now next one is ultimate bodhicitta. So first we should know the object of ultimate bodhicitta, then the nature, and then how to meditate on or how to practice this. First, the object. Actually, the entities which is reified through the duality of apprehended and apprehender. If all these entities, if we examine all these entities, then we can't find them as a one or many. We cannot find these as a one entity because the apprehended phenomena, they always have parts, like eastern part, southern part, etc. So we cannot find something that does not have any part or particles. And also the apprehended means like the object or the phenomena, and apprehender means like the mind. Past mind is already ceased, so it's not existing. The future mind is yet to rise, and this present mind also it's changing momentarily, and within this moment, and this moment is also not a true existence. This present moment of mind is also not a true existence, because this also has the rising part, the retaining or remaining part, or retaining part, and the cessation part. So this present moment of mind also can be divided into three, as arising and reciting and ceasing. So there's not a single object or not a single phenomena, whether it's apprehended or apprehender, and that is one without any other parts or particles. And so all these has link with the many. Without many, there's no one. Even though it has connection with the many, still if it is considered as a one, then all the phenomena becomes one. Then there's a fault of the need to accept all the phenomena as one, which is not the reality. So therefore, if we examine carefully, if we analyze it thoroughly, then there's not a single phenomena that is one in reality. Nothing is existing as a one entity. Since there's no one entity as a truly existent, so therefore, how can we have a many as a truly existent? Because many is accumulation of many ones. So when there are many ones gathered together, then it becomes many. So one and many are dependent origination. One and many are dependent. And there's no other entity which is other than one or many. So through this way, in reality, there's not a single entity that is truly existent, because we cannot find it. We cannot find as one or many in the reality or as a truly existent. And since the object of refutation, the existence of entity is not established, we cannot find it. All are devoid of true existence. So therefore, if the existence is not found, then how we can find the non-existence? Because non-existence itself is a false and is not a true. So when there's no existence, then there's no truly existence. And then also there's no non-existence as a independent or as a inherently existent. And when we cannot find both entity or non-entity, or both existent and non-existent, then through this way we can also say there's no both or neither. That is also not possible to be a truly existent. So through this way, if we carefully analyze all the phenomena, there's not a single phenomena that is truly existent. And we cannot find anything. So through this way, one can establish the ultimate truth or the ultimate view. So this is the object. Ultimate truth or the ultimate view is the object. And since there's nothing to be exist, then from the apprehender side or from our mind, we should not cling as a existent or non-existent, etc. Or we should not cling in any form. Not clinging anything is similar to the non-conceptual wisdom of the ultimate bodhicitta. At the moment, we cannot have the real ultimate bodhicitta, because real ultimate bodhicitta can only attain once we become a noble bodhisattva. Or actually, it's like the moment that we gain the ultimate bodhicitta is the moment that we enter into the noble path, and also it's the moment that we enter into the path of seeing and becoming and attaining the first bhumi. All these are at the same time. So at the moment, meditating on ultimate view, then through this, although we cannot gain the real ultimate bodhicitta, but we can develop a similar one, not the real one, but a similar one, which is similar wisdom, similar non-conceptual wisdom of ultimate bodhicitta, but not the real one. So now, how to practice this? Sometimes we have apprehended and apprehender, or entity and non-entity. So without having all these, or without any clinging thoughts or grasping thoughts, if we just meditate on the ultimate view, then this is the right way to do the meditation on the ultimate truth. So when we meditate on ultimate truth, we should not have any clinging or any grasping thoughts. In departing from the four attachment teaching by the great Arya Manjushri to the Sachin Kunga Nyingbo, Manjushri said in the fourth line, if grasping arises, then there's no right view. So one should meditate on this without any clinging thoughts or without any thoughts. Because at this time, the thought itself is the greatest obstacle to meditate on the ultimate truth. So to have a successful meditation, one should remove the obstacles. With the obstacles, one cannot have a successful meditation. So therefore, one should remove all these obstacles or clinging thoughts and then meditate without any thoughts. Then, during the post-meditative session, one might have the non-conceptual wisdom, and the nature of this can be understood through example. For example, the Dhammata or the Dhammadhatu. Meditating on Dhammadhatu or meditating on ultimate view is like meditating on the space. Because space, when we meditate on space, there's no extreme, because space is not existing in the form of entity or non-entity. So when we meditate on space, we don't have any thoughts. So when we say space or the sky, it does not mean the blue sky, not that one. So similarly, without any thoughts, just like meditating on space, we should meditate on the Dhammadhatu or the ultimate view. And also one can have this knowledge through reasoning. As it is mentioned earlier, one should remember the logical reasons that refute the entity and also that refute the non-entity or both or neither, as it is explained before. And then one will have a strong conviction that the real truth or the real ultimate truth is free from all these extremes like entity, non-entity, both, neither, or existence, non-existence, both, or neither. So through examples and logical reasoning, one can get used to meditate on the ultimate view. So at the moment, all the logical reasons and examples and all the descriptions about the ultimate view, all these are not the real ultimate view, because the real ultimate view or the real ultimate nature is free from all the thoughts. Or in other words, it's beyond words and beyond thought, or it's a state that is inexpressible and also inconceivable. So through these descriptions and examples and logical reasons, through these, then one can meditate on the real ultimate view. And these reasons and quotations, examples, and all the other descriptions are not the real one. They can help us to they can help us to have the real meditation on the ultimate view. So by familiarizing with this, by getting used to it, then one can gain liberation and enlightenment state. Without this bodhicitta, without this ultimate bodhicitta, there is no opportunity for us to gain liberation. So in order to gain liberation, one must have this ultimate bodhicitta. So now we are talking on the bodhisattva part. So in the bodhisattva part, in order to gain liberation from the whole samsara, one must familiarize with similar ultimate bodhicitta, and then through this one can gain the real ultimate bodhicitta. As I said before, the moment that we gain the real ultimate bodhicitta is the moment that we gain liberation from the whole samsara, and part of seeing, gaining possible me, and becoming noble bodhisattva, all are same. I don't remember now that I've said gaining liberation is also at the same time, but yes, before I don't know exactly what I said, but whether I have said gaining liberation is also at the same time or not, but actually it is all at the same time. And then when we have this ultimate bodhicitta, then it also helps to have strong and sincere compassion towards those who have not realized the ultimate view. So first, meditating on similar ultimate bodhicitta, then by getting used to it, then one can gain the real ultimate bodhicitta and can gain the liberation from the whole samsara. Now, next one is the rules or the precepts of the bodhicitta. This also has three the precepts of wishing bodhicitta, engaging bodhicitta, and the ultimate bodhicitta. So first, wishing bodhicitta. And the psychic existence is full of suffering. The psychic beings are harmed or tormented by the three kinds of suffering. And the nirvanic beings, they don't have the perfect relinquishment or perfect realization or perfect quality. And also, they don't have the perfect action of helping others. So due to this, one should discard the intention to remain in the samsara or in the nirvana state. Only the Buddha, the complete Buddha or the perfect Buddha, is one that is free from all the faults or that possess the perfect relinquishment and that possess the perfect qualities, all the perfect qualities, and also Buddha has simultaneously accomplished all the benefits of others. So one should have sincere intention to have this kind of enlightenment state, which has the perfect relinquishment, the perfect quality. So one wish to accomplish, one wish spontaneously accomplish all the benefits of others. So by having such wish or such intention, and once we get used to this kind of intention or wish, then one can relinquish one's own purpose or one's own welfare or one's own happiness, and one will have great interest and one will put great effort for the happiness of others. Even when one's mind is used to it, used to helping others, used to such bodhicitta, then one will also go to the hell realms to help the hell beings. So one can go there with joy because one is helping others. So anyway, one should feel joy to help others, removing their faults or helping them and pacifying or parting them from their own sufferings and cause for sufferings. So one should practice on this, and also one should not be discouraged with the action of helping others, and also one shouldn't feel sad by such difficulties or such challenges. So through this way, one should engage in the bodhicitta. And this is the method that can help us to make the perfection of our own wishing bodhicitta. And now next is the engaging bodhicitta. This also has two. Actually, there are four. First, the summary, then explaining detail on the six perfections, and then third one is their differences, and fourth one is the four skillful means. So first, the summary of the precepts, of the engaging bodhicitta precepts. So bodhisattva who practice or who accumulates the merit and wisdom heap, such method can make the perfection of engaging bodhicitta. And one should practice this with great compassion or with right motivation, and also without the three rounds or three spears of thoughts, or with a non-conceptual wisdom. One should practice the perfections, and also one should have, and one should not delay the practice. One should not postpone the practice, or one should not delay the practice. So for this, one should have the armor like diligence, ARMOR, armor like diligence, and also one should have the applied diligence. Armor like diligence means one should always think that one will do, one should do, one should not be discouraged, or one should not delay the practice. And applied diligence means really doing the practice. So one is applying the action. And also without any without any without any contentment or with discontentment, one should have the irreversible diligence or unrelenting diligence. So one should not stop this, one should continue. And also one should fulfill all the wishes of others and placing them on the state of Buddhahood. So with these 6 qualities, then one should practice, one should do the practice. So now, explaining the 6 perfections individually. So first is the perfection of generosity. Having the strong intention to give our own body, wealth, and virtues, and all the things to others without any condition or without anything in return. If one can give all this, if one gives all this, then that's called the material gift. So when we say giving body, it can also mean that we are using our own body for the service of others' welfare, like that. And also it can have other meaning. And also solving the problem or specifying the harmful actions in the area, and releasing the animals from the slaughter's house, etc. The gift of fearlessness. And then with great motivation or with loving kindness and compassion, giving Dharma teaching to others in an authentic way with a genuine quotation and logical reason, then such giving is the gift of Dharma. So giving has 3: giving the fearlessness, giving materials, giving fearlessness, and giving the Dharma. So these are the practice of perfection of generosity. And also we should think, not all the givings are part of virtuous deeds. If one gives animal to the slaughter, or if one gives alcohol or weapons to others, then such gift is not right, because such gift is not right thing to give. And also if one is giving these 3, like fearlessness or material or Dharma, with wrong intention, then from the practitioner side, this is also not a genuine perfection of generosity because there's a because one does not have the real motivation or the genuine motivation. So to have the perfection of generosity, one should have the right motivation, and one should give the right thing, and one should give at the right time or to the right person or the right object. So, and also one should have the complete practice, which has the preparation, the main, and the conclusion part. If after giving, then if one has the stinginess, then although one has done the preparation and main part, but one doesn't have the conclusion part, because conclusion part is destroyed by the stinginess thought that we have. Now the next one is the perfection of moral conduct. Actually, moral conduct has three. The moral conduct of abstaining from misdeeds, the moral conduct of gathering wholesome dharmas, the moral conduct of accomplishing this benefit of sentient beings. So one should practice these three. So first, abstaining from misdeed means abandoning the misdeeds of oneself and others with the right intention, and abandoning these from oneself and others, body, speech, and mind. And to abandon this, then we need the second kind of moral conduct, which is to gather the wholesome deeds, or the practice in the virtuous deeds, or the practice in Dharma is the second kind of moral conduct. And third one, by abandoning the others and oneself and others non-virtue and placing them on the action of virtues and benefiting others is the third kind of moral conduct. So with these three kinds of moral conduct, with great motivation or right motivation, and also with right conclusion at the end, like dedication, etc., then through this way one can practice the perfection of moral conduct. The third one is the perfection of patience. Patience. This also has three. First, the patience of voluntarily accepting suffering, which means without disturbing oneself or others' mind, or without having the anger. When one accomplishes the purpose of oneself and others, at that time one is not feared or one is not scared of suffering. One accepts the sufferings. Oneself voluntarily accepting the suffering in order to fulfill the purpose of oneself and others. So it means when we practice, when we help others, when we try to fulfill the purpose of oneself and others, at that time one might face challenges, or one might face difficulties or sufferings, but one accepts all these challenges, or one voluntarily accepts all these sufferings. So this is called the patience of voluntarily accepting suffering. And second is, even others, they snatch one's own wealth, or they beat one's own body, but still if one practices the patience, then it means the patience of disregarding harm. So actually one need to practice the patience even when others are beating oneself, but it doesn't mean one should always take others' beating like in the family, one should always take the beating of one's own partners, etc. Then we should try to escape, try to find a solution to avoid such suffering. Because if one always accept others' beating, then it won't help, because it in this way, in this situation, it can help the person, the one who beats that person, to continue. It can help this person to continue the beating. So generally we should accept, we should practice patience when others harm, or when others criticize, or when others beat. But if one is in the family, if family members are doing this for oneself, or in a similar situation, then try to, and just by practicing patience, if it does not help them to stop such harmful action, if that does not stop the beating, then try to find a solution, try to escape from this. I think this is better. But generally speaking, we should practice the patience of disregarding harm. And then third one is the patience achieved by understanding the nature of phenomena, which means by having strong conviction on the meaning of relative truth and ultimate truth. And never disturbed by these meaning. One's mind is never disturbed by this meaning, and one really believe, one really accept this. Then this is, I think this is called the patience achieved by understanding the nature of phenomena. Now the fourth one is the practice of diligence or enthusiasm. So those bodhisattvas who gathers all the virtue seeds with such intention, if one wears the armor-like diligence on the sixth perfection, then that is called the armor-like diligence, which means one really have like strong promise to practice these six perfections. Then doing all these practice, really doing all this practice is the second kind, or called the applied diligence. Then by doing all these vast practice, one does not feel discouraged. Then that is called the undaunted diligence, or one does not discourage from this practice. Then also, when we practice these perfections, one is not disturbed by the difficulties or the suffering, then this is called the unshakable diligence. Or one mind is not disturbed, or one mind is not shaken when one faces the difficulties or challenges or the sufferings. So that's why it's called the unshakable diligence. And one is not content with little practice, so one continue to practice. So that is called the insatiable diligence. So these are the practice that we should do as a part of the perfection of diligence. Actually, this is not just a diligence; it's a putting effort on the virtuous deeds with great joy. Then that is called diligence or the enthusiasm. Putting effort in a wrong deeds or negative action, then it's not a diligence, or it's not a part of this perfection. And also, putting effort in the wrong deed is not a diligence. And also, if one is forced to practice without having one's own wish to practice, then this is also not a real part of the practice of perfection of diligence. So here, diligence or enthusiasm means putting effort in the virtuous deeds or in the Dharma practice with one's own wish or with great joy. If one is forced to practice, then one cannot have the perfection of diligence. Or if one put great effort in the wrong deed, then also it's not a perfection of diligence. Now the fifth one is the perfection of concentration or meditative absorption. This also has three meditative absorption endowed with coarse and subtle thought, and the meditative absorption free of coarse thought but endowed with subtle thought. I don't know how to. I think I'm not pronouncing well the word coarse. It's a COARSE. And third one is the meditative absorption free of both coarse and subtle thought. Actually, within the meditative absorption, within the concentration, there are different levels. When one practices, then one can improve and go to the next level, and then again one can go to the next level. So anyway, there are different ways of classification, different way of classifying it also, but here it is classified or it is divided into three. And then the sixth one is the perfection of wisdom. So one wish to understand and one wish to realize all the phenomena and their true nature. So with such wish, then one will realize all the phenomena of relative truth, such as five aggregates, etc., and knowing their nature, which is devoid of self-nature. So this is the perfection of wisdom. So perfection of wisdom is one that knows the true nature of all the relative and ultimate truth. And also we can say there's three kinds, like mundane or the worldly wisdom, and the super mundane wisdom or the beyond worldly wisdom, and the great wisdom. So within the wisdom there are three kinds. Actually, because of this perfection of wisdom, the other five are called the perfection. Without the perfection of wisdom, the other five are not called the perfection. Actually, the word perfection in Sanskrit is called the paramita. Paramita means to go beyond the samsara, etc. So, without the perfection of wisdom, it is not possible to go beyond the samsara or to gain the liberation. So, this is the most important perfection among all the six perfections. Actually, it is said, the perfection of wisdom is like the eye to see the path. Without seeing the path, it is difficult to travel on the path. So, without the perfection of wisdom, with other five, we cannot progress on the path. So, anyway, perfection of wisdom is the most important perfection among all the six perfections. So, With this, now I will conclude my today's session. At the end, we should dedicate all our merits to attend Buddhahood for the sake of all the sentient beings, and especially we should dedicate all our merits for our root gurus, long life, good health, and turn the wheel of Dharma far and wide always. Thank you.